Hello, my name is Sidbeast and you can call me B, and welcome back to some more Winter Swish. We're en route to going on Kunitaka's we're en route to going on Kunitaka's route. Yes. Well, yep, we're gonna work in Samurai Town. Yippee. I want to work in the Samurai Town. The day after I answered that, I was called into a meeting with those in charge of Samurai Town. Not only was Kiyoshiro there, I also saw familiar faces like Tominari's and Tojo's. I'm sure you already heard, but she'll also be in charge of Samurai Town from today. You two will support her. Leave it to us. Welcome to the Samurai Town team.
Soup, you came. I'm glad to see you here.
Same. I'm looking forward to working with you all. I really do feel comforted when I'm with these two. The Blightfall of Samurai Town are strong. To top it off, there seems to be lots of trouble because of the neighborhood. I have a lot of concerns, but it really is best when you have someone close to you by your side. Also, considering that there was work to do, I had asked Komame to wait in my room. Aw, no bird friend? Now then, let's start with deciding what job Soup should be in charge of. Kunitaka and Tominari use their standings as samurai to complete their task, but you're a commoner woman. You won't be able to do what they do. Of course. Does that mean I would be helping everyone from behind the scenes? No, quite the opposite. You'll use that to your advantage to establish a relationship with the daimyo's wives. Oh. Many of the wives in Samurai Town have their ears to the ground. If they like you, you should be able to obtain plenty of information. They want you to accomplish a task that the all-male Oniwaban was unable to do up until this point. Yes, I understand. Oh, right. Tojo mentioned something like this before. Captain, may I ask a question? In that case, what should Soup's civilian identity be? Are we going to be fake married to one of them? We're going that route. It's unlikely that a wife of a daimyo family would ever meet with a normal village girl, let alone talk to her. Shall we play it safe and let her infiltrate some samurai family as a servant? No. A mission where she'd have to stay with a target all day long would be difficult for someone as inexperienced as her. He's right. I'd definitely slip up. That's why we'll have her be part of a branch family, related to one of you two. Branch family. The family of the main bloodline is considered the head house, and many households that separate from it are called branch families.
Branch family?
That's right. Due to extenuating circumstances, I've taken in a girl from the branch family. Say that and everyone will be easily convinced. I guess not. That makes sense. It would also allow us to work together without causing any issues.
Between Kunitaka and I, who do you prefer?
What? That's so sudden. Besides, is this something I should be deciding? This is normally the type of thing that Kiyoshiro would decide. However, when I looked over at Kiyoshiro, he was simply waiting for my response. It didn't look like he would open his mouth anytime soon. It seemed that he had no particular opinion. Oh dear, what should I base my decision on? As I fussed over the sudden decision that has been forced upon me, Tojo looked into my eyes. In that case, do you want to be part of my branch family? Your branch family? Yeah, since I've been in Oniwaban for a while now, they established all the details of my lineage. There'd be no problem with having a branch family. We still haven't created a backstory for Tominari, though. If he suddenly popped in with a branch family, that'd be pretty hard to explain, right?
Alright, fine. I'll make one now. Then it wouldn't be a problem if she chooses me.
Wait. That's not what I meant. I'm saying that there's no need to spend time now making up a backstory for your whole family. Along with speeding things along, and it made things easier to choose me.
But considering that how my backstory hasn't been set, it'll be easier for me to match hers, right?
That's true, but... I see. The two of them already have things like their family lineage planned out. I can see why it'd be difficult to answer questions about yourself if you didn't plan out a backstory beforehand. However, it didn't seem like the two of them would come to a consensus anytime soon. In times like these, it'd probably be best to get a decision from the person in charge. Kiyoshiro, which do you think is better? The choice won't affect your assignment. Choose as you like. Vessels have perfect memory, same as form folk. No matter what happens in the fake relationship with you, they'll remember it perfectly. I figured as much. Upon hearing that, Tojo gently placed a hand on my shoulder. A CG! Hey, Soup, if you're having that much trouble deciding, why not choose me? Not only is my backstory pretty tight, most people around here already know it. That'll take some pressure off of you too. Not to mention, Tominari isn't the most talkative guy. I'm worried he'd not be able to help you properly if you ever accidentally said the wrong thing. Now I finally got a cute junior like you working under me. Personally, I feel more at ease if where I could see you. Would you not like that? Well, Tojo looked me straight in the eyes and asked me, looking slightly troubled. Not only that, he also bent down to meet my line of sight, so his face filled my vision. Thanks to that, I couldn't think properly. Wait, what should I do? He's so close.
Kunitaka enough.
Of course. I knew. Oh, oops. I knew I was gonna do that.
What?
This time, Tominari pulled my hand and hugged me close to him like he was protecting me. What the fuck? You'll barely know her. Well, maybe the white hair guy. Some kind of special connection, but the other... I mean, yeah, y'all hung out for a while. You just want a girl on your team?
The way you're phrasing that is unfair. You know that if you say it that way, she'd have to choose you.
That's...
In any case, you're really only worried about me, right? I can handle myself. If she chooses me, I will complete my assignments just fine, and I will support her properly too, even without you telling me to. Don't think that I'll stay a novice forever. While tightening the arms he had around me, Tominari clearly asserted his position. Throughout their conversation, I was in a panic. What? What is this? What should I do? What's that look?
It's just, you don't usually say your opinion, so it's a little surprising, is all.
That's not
true? I don't think so. That's charmless, even for you, pal. Anyway, I got your point. So will you let the poor kid go? She's frozen stiff. At that, Tominari looked at me for the first time. I fit snugly into Tominari's arms as he hugged me.
Ah, sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Then Tominari let me go as if nothing had happened. That was so nerve-wracking. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Meanwhile, Tojo nodded like he'd figure out something. I don't really understand it, but Tominari gets all fired up when she's involved. In which case, I'll back off. I can't do something that would prevent my junior from going up.
Then that means...
That means you'll become Tominari's branch family. I'll provide assistance, of course, but make sure you have each other's back and work hard.
Yes, I understand. It's great that we managed to decide, at least. I couldn't decide between the two of them, so I was relieved that we reached a conclusion that everyone was happy with. Then I'll be happy to work with you, Tominari. Guess we'll be relatives from now on? Yeah, likewise. But how exactly do you treat distant relatives? Is it the same as family? Family? If I think about it that way, it's a little embarrassing. Yeah, I guess. You don't really get it, do you, Tominari? When I laughed, Tominari also smiled. I was here in Edo to begin with because of my meeting with Tominari. It felt a little strange to be forging a new bond with him.
Hey, are you guys forgetting about me? Don't forget that. Don't forget that, to me, the two of you will always be my precious mentees. What? It's the truth, isn't it? Don't look at me like that. Hey there, Tominari, buddy.
And then Kiyoshiro, who had been watching over it all, approached the two with a straight face. And he slowly placed his hands on Tominari and Tojo's heads and...
What? Wait, what are you doing?
He started ruffling their hair with all of his might. Aside from myself, Tojo and Tominari were also taken aback by this surprising treatment. Because of that, the grim atmosphere was dispelled in an instant. Is Kiyoshiro trying to lighten the mood? I couldn't tear my eyes away from the unexpected action. Then, still ruffling their hair, Kiyoshiro turned to look at me. Kiyoshiro's eyes were staring directly at my head. Could he be targeting my head too? I'm fine, please don't mind me.
Really?
Yes.
Captain, it would be great if you could stop petting us.
I can't see in front of me.
Or I can't see. No, that was him.
After that interaction, we discussed and decided the details of Tominari's backstory and mine. Now the problem was how we were going to use our backstory in order to collect information, but...
Oh yeah, I heard that Lord Tanba's wife, Chie, will be hosting a tea party in 2 days. Tominari and I did receive invitations, but should we take soup with us? We could use it to connect with the wives.
Right. The Tanbas are a fairly powerful daimyo family. There's a chance that he'll be chosen as the next councilman. His lordship also favors him. Oh my god, cats are being crazy again. Councilman. A job title within the Edo Shogunate. The highest rank councilmen are directly supervised by the shogun and are one of the government officials involved in national political affairs. He must be pretty important then. A councilman would be a direct subordinate of the shogun, right? That would mean he's a pretty powerful person even in the shogunate. Can someone like me even participate in a tea party hosted by those people? Well, we call it a tea party, but it's just an open-air tea ceremony, so I don't think it'll be that formal. Open-air tea ceremony. A tea ceremony held outside. Thank you. Very helpful glossary. Open air? An open-air tea ceremony is a tea party held outside. You didn't know?
And no.
Soup, do you not know anything about tea? Blasphemous.
I'm sorry. I was raised in a village, so I never had a chance to.
I see. Well, I guess it's not really something you need to know in order to survive.
Tojo scratched his head at my honest answer as if he was troubled.
But even if it's an open-air tea ceremony, it won't look good if you don't know at least... If you don't know...
Oh my god.
But even if it's an open-air tea ceremony, it won't look good if you don't at least know basic etiquette.
In that case, couldn't we just teach her? We have 2 days. Kyoshiro, could you adjust the times for today's patrol? This is important to the mission, and I'd like to teach her other things as well. You're fine with that, right, Kunitaka?
Yeah, I don't really mind. I have no disagreements.
Alright, I'll allow it. Apart from the tea ceremony, there are many things you'll need to learn in order to work in Samurai Town.
Soup, are you fine with that?
I mean, Soup.
No, not him either. Soup, are you also fine with that?
Yes, thank you very much.
There were still 2 days into the tea party, and I would have everything regarding samurai families drilled into me. Drilled. Now that we've decided on a direction to take, we are sitting in a Seiza style face. We're sitting Seiza style face to face in another room within the base. Seeing that this was where they would teach me about samurai etiquette and the tea ceremony.
So, first, we'll have you learn the basics of the tea ceremony, Tominari.
Alright. Called upon
by Tojo, Tominari readjusted his sitting position, like he was getting himself ready.
First, let me say this. The tea ceremony is much easier than what you're imagining. Basically, you just need to copy what the person next to you does, so I don't think there's much need for memorization. As long as you don't forget to show appreciation for everybody and everything, it's fine.
Alright.
Well, that's basically it. Anyway, I'll quickly explain what you need to do first. Then, let's start from the...
Oh god. Nijiriguchi.
Let's start from the Nijiriguchi. Nijiguchi. The Niri... That's what the small entrance That's what the small entrance to the tea room is called. It's about as tall as your waist, so you can't enter unless you crouch. So to enter the tea... Oh, fuck. So enter the tea room from here, you'll have to use your arms to move your body while you're sitting in the Seiza posture. When you actually do it, it's like this.
Tominari tightly clenched his hands, and as if pushing to tattoo me with his thumbs, showed how he moved his body forward. I was enthralled by this movement.
Soup, now you try.
Okay, like this?
Yep, good job.
I tried to recreate the action with awkward movements, and Tominari smiled as he nodded at me. Both my movements in my upper body were shaky, but it seemed like he didn't mind those smaller details.
But according to our intel, the Tenpa family also had a tea room in a great room. Tea rooms like that don't have a Nijiriguchi.
Wait, then how do you go in? It would be weird to crawl in with their normal sliding doors, right?
Yep, so that in that case, we use another method. Aside from tea parties, there are numerous rules of etiquette for opening sliding doors. It's rude to just open them, so we have to use the Kaiza posture too. Kaiza posture. The Kaiza is one method of sitting. It's the Seiza,
Oh my god.
Seiza posture, but with your toes flexed.
While you're in that posture, you call from the outside of the room. When you enter a drawing room, watch out for any edges or seams on the floor. They'll think you don't have any manners if you step on them.
Why is that?
The edges of tatami mats. Tatami mats. The edges of tatami mats often have the family crest decorating them. To step on that has the same meaning as stepping on a family's pride.
Huh, I see.
And the method for walking on the tatami is...
After he taught me that, a question suddenly arose in my mind. Huh? Wasn't the tea party 2 days from now and an open-air tea ceremony? For a tea party held outside, why would I need the etiquette he's teaching me right now? As soon as I started thinking about it, it wouldn't leave my mind. For a while, I thought about whether I should point this out to Tominari. Okay, first choice with actual, route. Oh, yeah. We're gonna point it out.
Green!
I really should say something. I only just memorized my backstory. If I cram any more knowledge, I'll probably forget it. Upon reaching that conclusion, I opened my mouth. I'm sorry, Tominari. I appreciate that you're spending all this time teaching me, but the tea party coming up is an open-air tea ceremony, right? In that case, I don't think there will be sliding doors or drawing rooms. At those words, silence permeated the air. For a while, Tominari looked around with a straight face, as if deep in thought. And then,
That's... true?
At last, although he phrased his reply as a question, he nodded like he was convinced. It seemed that he understood. My bad. I was also waiting for a good opportunity to point it out, but... No, it's fine. You had your best interest in mind. Just let it slide. Tominari's been like this ever since he joined the Oniwaban. It's hard to tell what he's thinking sometimes. The day he was assigned to Samurai Town was crazy. We were greeting the samurai families, and this guy just suddenly waltzes into the tea room. I couldn't do anything at that time, so I played it off like, oh yeah, he just really likes tea parties. That's why we get invited to tea parties by the wives of Samurai Town. Apparently the news about his love for tea spread around.
Is that so?
Tojo had a really faraway look in his eyes. He must have to deal with a lot up to this point. So even Tominari had a time when he first starting out.
I don't recall that.
Hey, don't lie so blatantly. You're a vessel. Of course you remember. Tojo couldn't help but correct Tominari's nonchalant reply with full force. What's done is done. If I leave this to Tominari, I don't think we're ever going to finish. So from here, I'll carry on with the explanation.
I wanted to teach her...
We have no time for this, so put up with it. The only thing you need to remember is how to eat sweets and how to drink tea. As long as you know that, it'll be a piece of cake. Oh, right. First up are the tea sweets. For an open-air tea ceremony, it's common for the snacks to be split up in single portions and handed to you directly. So there will be no need to bring your own kashi tissue. The point you have to be careful of here is that you need to finish eating your food before your tea. And you still need to be using the kashi tissue you received, so leave it on top of your lap.
Yes, I understand.
And there's the important bit. This is when the tea finally gets brought over. When the tea bearer brings the tea over, they should bow to you. First respond to that with a bow. Then support the tea they gave you with your hand, and then you place it on your left hand. Keep it at round chest height. Tojo explained while pantomiming it out, but I never been to a tea ceremony before, and it was difficult for me to imagine it. Like this? I copied him and tried to do the same actions, but Tojo made a sour face. Close. I guess it's difficult to understand from just gestures.
Hey, is there any teaware here? It'll be easier to understand with the real things.
That's true, but they don't keep teaware at the base. Fine, I'll just have to bring some from home.
Sorry to interrupt. How's everyone doing? Hey, Mimi.
And then, opening the door so hard it almost flew out of its frame, an unexpected person entered the room.
Mimi? Who?
It's Miharu. You know, one of the poster girls from the tea style.
Thank you for your patronage. You came the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, you always take good care of us. Both Tojo and Tominari seemed confused by the sudden intruder. Soup, you know her?
Yes, we used to live together. We reunited by chance yesterday. But, Mimi, why are you here? This is the Oniwaban space. Oh no. Mimi isn't the member of the Moniwaban? Will Mimi have to commit seppuku for the crime of knowing our secret? Don't worry, I called her here. I explained everything as well. Kiyoshiro? I peered over at where the voice had come from. There standing behind Mimi was Kiyoshiro. I was even more confused by the strange pairing. Huh? Then is Mimi also a member of Oniwaban, or is she a helper? Is she?
Nope. That's the first I've heard of it.
She's not a member, but she's a helper. We had her join us as of today. Of course, we received permission from Lord Yoshimune. Because the Oniwaban is full of men, he thought it best to have a woman helper.
That's rather sudden. Is there some sort of reason behind the decision?
Well, we heard she's Soup's acquaintance. In that case, it would be more convenient if we recruited her into our ranks.
Convenient? Well, in other words, they considered the possibility that you might accidentally let something slip. Like right now.
Oh, I see. As someone who has almost accidentally let something slip just now, I had no choice but to accept it. But how did you know that Mimi and I knew each other? I learned that from Miharu herself, of course. I sure was surprised to hear Kiyoshiro, of all people, say my beloved Soup's name. You were talking about me? I thought she'd be perfect as your tea ceremony teacher. I didn't intend to make her into a helper, though. Well, that's that. So if there's trouble, you can count on me. Thank you, Mimi. But I'm sorry for getting you wrapped up in all this. It's fine, honey. If I can help you even just a little, I'm happy. Is it the tea ceremony that's troubling you? My job is working at a tea stall, but I've also studied tea ceremony, so don't be shy about asking me. Look, I even brought teaware and tea sweets. Saying that, Mimi lifted up the set of teaware she was holding with ease. Her reliability and deep kindness made me tear up. That said, I was really surprised when I heard what happened to think that Soup would work for the Shogun. Kiyoshiro, you're in charge here, right? If you let her get hurt, I won't stand for it.
I'll do my best in that regard. We'd like to avoid a situation where we end up disposing of such an important asset.
Huh?
What did you say? Didn't you hear? I said we're going to use her effectively as a pawn for the shogunate. What did you say? Kyoshiro answered her calmly, and in that instant Mimi's face became as wicked as a Hanya mask. She placed the teaware she was holding on the tatami mat, telling her not mat, just tatami, and closed the distance between herself and Kyoshiro instantly. How dare you talk about her in that way, treating her like she's just an object. Soup has a special power, but she's still human. I don't know what kind of mission you plan on making her do, but you better treat her nice and proper. That's what we've been doing so far. Based on the way that you spoke about her just now, it didn't seem that way. You were completely treating her like some lackey. He's just autistic. I didn't say that, but if I had said something to offend you, I apologize. I'm sorry. All things considered, you don't look sorry at all. Like I said, he's just autistic. You're always like this. You may say the right things, but you don't mean them at all. Now, I guess the question is, should we stop them or not?
She's really angry.
Thanks. Tojo and Tominari whispered to each other so the two guests wouldn't hear and quietly watched. Needless to say, Mimi's threads were bright red from anger. I have to meditate. Mediate. Mimi, I'm fine, so... No, let me say this. I've disliked his attitude for a long while now. This is the best chance I'm going to get, so I'm going to say my piece.
I dropped my Joy-Con.
No. No, Skippy. No, Skippy. But... It's alright. You back down. When she said it so firmly, I could no longer interrupt Tomayan. I retreated in rejection, and returned to Tojo and Tominari's side. Are Mimi and Kirishiro possibly not on friendly terms?
I don't know, but Kunitaka, you probably would, right?
Well, the two of them aren't on bad terms, per se. It's more like they don't mix well at all. Like astonishing level of not mixing well. You know how the captain is, right? So from Miharu's compassionate point of view, he appears rather cold. It seems they've known each other for a long time, but every time they see each other, it always ends up like this. I see. If you knew he was a vessel, Kirishiro's wording might make more sense, but they probably didn't explain that to Mimi. I want them to kiss. But their antagonistic atmosphere was broken by an unexpected person.
Hey, don't we have to practice for the tea ceremony? Huh? You came here today to teach her the tea ceremony, right?
He wasn't trying to stop their fight, nor was he scolding the two. As soon as they heard the innocent question, both Mimi and Kirishiro turned around as if they had realized something.
That's right! This isn't the time for this. Let's hurry and start before it gets too late.
I understand you may be busy, but we're counting on you.
It's for her sake. Leave it to me.
Kiyoshiro lowered his head again and Mimi replied with a bright smile. The color of her threads were completely back to normal. They may fight, but they don't resent each other. I'm glad their relationship isn't as bad as I thought. After that, my studies proceeded surprisingly smoothly. I learned enough to enjoy an open-air tea ceremony without any trouble, and I could even understand why it was fun. And then, on the day of the open-air tea ceremony, after I made myself look presentable, Tominari and the others took me out to Samurai Town.
Oh, look at her. She's all dolled up. She's so pretty.
Now that I think about it, this might be the first time I properly looked at Samurai Town in the daytime. Not to mention the fact that when I came here the first time, I just walked right through it. But my impression of Samurai Town had barely changed from the first time I saw it. No matter where I looked, no one was walking around. At most, I would occasionally see a samurai standing guard or servants walking around. Of course, every one of them were wearing proper attire. Do I stand out?
What do you mean?
Do I really look like I come from a samurai family? I feel kind of nervous. Tominari blinked at me with a blank expression and proceeded to observe me.
You're wearing a high-end kimono, and you have a beautiful walk, so I think it's fine.
Really? Is it really alright?
Yeah, I see no problem.
It seemed that Tominari was being genuine, rather than being polite. Even so, this would be my first job for the Oniwaban. I couldn't help but feel restless.
It's alright. Like I said, just do what we taught you and it'll be no problem. Got it? Do you remember what Tominari said about the basics of the tea ceremony?
As long as you don't forget to show appreciation for everybody and everything, it's fine.
Good. You remember. Just follow that one rule and the wives would definitely accept you. Even if there are parts you're uncertain of, we'll figure something out. All you need to do is keep your head high. Right, Tominari?
Yeah, leave it to us.
Tominari wholeheartedly agreed with Tojo. I had butterflies in my stomach, but those words helped calm them down to a point where it was like they never even existed. Thank you so much. I'll do my best.
Right, that's more like it.
Let's do our best together.
With my nervousness alleviated, we began walking with more confidence. We proceeded while greeting passerbys, and finally arrived at our destination, a Daimyo mansion. While the Oniwaban base was amazing in its own right, the Tanban mansion was far more than that. In front of the house, a handful of women had gathered. They likely had received the same invitation.
Hello there.
My, if it isn't Tojo, I see the two of you were invited here today as well.
Oh, this will be a fun party. Beautiful gentlemen never fail to be a feast for the eyes.
You're too kind. Being around gorgeous ladies always make my heart skip a beat.
My oh my, you flatterer.
Lord Takamura, thank you for coming today. Thank you for having me.
The Tominari didn't say much. He was making sure to give proper greetings so that he didn't stand out. Amazing. Everyone looked so otherworldly. Considering they were invited to the Tamba house, everyone here must be the wives of fairly high-ranking daimyos. They all wore kimonos that looked really expensive, and their hair was beautifully tied up. Of course, their makeup was perfect too. From their very appearance, they were completely different from the innkeepers I saw in Castletown. By the way, who's that behind you?
Ah, right.
I have to say my greetings too. Then all the wives focused their gazes on me. I finally came back to myself. My name is Soup. I'm a member of the Takemura branch family, and for extenuating reasons, I've moved here. Because I came from the countryside, I may have many inadequacies, but I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. When I summoned up my courage and greeted them, the wives looked at me with serious expressions. It was only a matter of a few seconds. Nevertheless, my heart skipped a beat at their assessing gazes. But,
how adorable! We're also pleased to make your acquaintance.
There's nothing wrong with coming from the countryside, dear. I'm also from Mutsu. The wife smiled elegantly and welcomed me. The threads on their necks displayed the same kindness as in their words, so it didn't seem like simple social pleasantries. They're completely different from what I imagined. I'm glad they seem to be nice people. It seems like I'll be able to manage work as an Oniwabon in Samurai Town. I breathed a sigh of relief at the thought. It was at that moment. Huh? Rain? Oh no! A gentle pitter-patter. I looked up at the cold I felt against my skin to see flat droplets of rain falling from the sky. The sky was covered in thick clouds that were hardly there when we arrived.
My, how horrid.
Our kimonos will get wet. It'll probably be best if we move inside. Come along, everyone.
So, let's go.
Yeah. Well protected by Tominari, I hurriedly evacuated to the foyer. All the while, the rain continued pouring heavier and heavier. Puddles of water were already forming on the ground. From the looks of it, the rain doesn't seem like it'll stop anytime soon.
If so, it might be difficult holding a ceremony today, just when such a charming maiden has joined us.
From the way it's going, it's pretty clear that we can't have a tea party outside. Could it be possibly canceled? Oh, new lady. Oh my, everyone's already arrived. Apologize for the late greeting. At that moment, a sophisticated-looking woman peeked out from the inside of the mansion.
Chie, thank you very much for inviting us on this occasion.
No, the pleasure is all. Oh, so it's raining. Thank you all very much for coming all this way in such poor weather. She is the lady of the Tampa family, Chie. Chie seemed slightly older than the two wives who were invited, but her comparative maturity seemed to lend her a calmer demeanor and manner of speech. She seemed quite refined. Her threads are a constant bright yellow, though. She doesn't seem like she's nervous, which means she's on guard. In any case, the rain is sure as troublesome.
What should we do about the tea party? I suppose it's canceled.
If this were ordinary circumstances, we would part ways here, but... We have a new guest today, so why don't we have a tea party inside the mansion? What? Oh my, what a splendid idea. I was hoping I could have a nice long chat with her.
Oh, how wonderfully exciting.
What should I do? I misstudied for that. I barely know anything about normal tea parties. Please tell me this is a joke. Even as I was panicking, I turned my gaze to Tojo and Tominari. However, the two of them shook their heads as if they had given up all hope. Oh, it's my only choice here but to accept my fate. Your soup, yes. I apologize for the sudden change of plans, but I look forward to getting to know you. Yes, I look forward to it as well. I could do nothing but tense up my face at the unexpected start of a full-blown tea party. While the rain continued to pour outside, we were guided to the tea room. It seemed that the tea party would be held in the great room this time. I remembered how Tominari taught me to walk the other day, and I was able to sit on the tatami without incident. Incidentally, we lined up behind the wives, Tojo, me, then Tominari, in that order. I'm sure the two purposely sandwiched me like that so it would be easier for me to imitate them.
Did Chie go back to make preparations?
Apparently so. The type of tea party changed so suddenly that seems she has a lot to prepare.
Despite that, aren't the preparations for this room just perfect? There's a wall scroll and flowers. She's right. As I followed the wives' gazes, I noticed a beautiful wall scroll and flowers were decorating the alcove. Maybe. If it didn't rain, she was intending to hold a tea ceremony over here.
Well, could it be because Soup suddenly decided to participate? But was Chie always that kind of person?
I can only guess that's the case in this situation.
Could it be that I was being tested?
My body unconsciously stiffened at the wives' whispering conversation. Is that why the color of Chie's threads were constantly yellow? I could be overthinking it, but if that's the case, then she might judge me harshly too. If I fail here, I might hold back everyone in the Oniwaban. I was already nervous from having my debut, but I never even considered the possibility of an event like this. As I sat, my hands that I had placed on my legs trembled slightly from fear.
It's okay.
In a voice so quiet that only I could hear him, Tominari gently spoke to me. When I raised my face in surprise, he had his usual kind-hearted smile. Tominari? And from the opposite side, Tojo lightly poked me in the knee. Tojo?
Don't worry. Like I said earlier, if you mess up, we'll do something about it.
Hearing those words, my heart filled with warmth. That's right. I'm no longer alone. If I was all alone, then I might have been discouraged, but now I have the two of them with me. If I came all this way, then all that's left is to get through this main event. I apologize for the wait. I finally assembled all the utensils. Just as I firmed my resolve, Chie came in from behind the door. If everything is settled, let's start immediately. Finally, the tea ceremony has started. To music. As Chie proceeded with preparations, the wives turned their gazes to the alcove.
The wall scroll you chose this time is a rather interesting one.
Actually, it's one that I obtained rather recently. When I look upon it, I feel my heart settle down.
They say that there can be many interpretations of an incel.
Insult? I followed their gazes and looked at the alcove. It was decorated with a wall scroll that had a large circle drawn on it. That's just a circle, right? Why is it just a circle? If it was an idiom, I would at least guess what it meant from the vibes of the kanji writing. Ah! Soup, what do you think about that insult? That's right, I want to hear a young person's opinion.
What? That's... Don't worry. Just say exactly what you think.
What? Is he really supposed to be this casual? And then... It's cute. I tried answering entirely based off the instinct, and the wives once again stared closely at me with serious expressions. I missed a... What a novel way of thinking. How wonderful.
Huh? That's true. The uncell is a mirror that reflects your inner heart. Cute is a valid answer.
It shows the pureness of your heart. I think that's a marvelous interpretation. I don't really get it, but it seems I got it right.
See? I told you so.
Yes, thank you, Tominari. Now then, it's about time that we distribute the snacks and the tea. It's finally time.
It's all good. Just copy what I do here. On the other hand, Tominari will do something completely different, so don't use that as a reference.
I understand. First, eat the tea snacks and get past to me. After I pass the plate, drink the tea. Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I think I did well. Then, Chie, you're absent-minded. Is something wrong? Is there something you're concerned with outside? Yes, I'm sorry. I was wondering if the rain had stopped yet.
Wait, no way. She wasn't watching. Ah!
Soup, more importantly, I heard you were from Takemura's branch family, but where are you from? She's going to bring that up now? What should I do? My head's a mess. From the mountains?
I apologize. She seems to be nervous. She was born in Ichigo.
It's cold over there, isn't it?
My, so you were born in the northern provinces? I'm from Mutsu as well, so I can relate. Oh, thanks to the two of them, we managed to cover it up. After repeated similar interactions, the wives began looking at me with much warmer smiles.
Yay! Soup, how should I put this? You're lovely. All your efforts make you seem very youthful.
Your parents must have taught you very well. So true. I think that I would be I'll be introduced to such a wonderful young lady. I'm so glad to have held this tea party today. As if agreeing with the other wives, Chie also nodded with a smile on her face. It felt like I was on a tightrope throughout the entire conversation, but it seems that I appeared like a lady from a proper house. I can't let my guard down here, though. Chie's threads are still yellow. Is she still wary of me? When I looked at Chie to check on her, she still smiled at me brightly. Soup, it seems you understand the importance of appreciation, which is at the heart of the tea ceremony. Your efforts to respond to my hospitality are being communicated very quickly, very clearly. It would be great if she really thought that. To tell you the truth, I invited a girl around your age once, but she had a rather horrible attitude.
Ah, the girl from that one time? How should I describe it? She was surprising in a very different way.
She didn't even sit in Kaiza before standing up. Soup, do you know what Kaiza is? Huh? My mind blanked for a moment at the sudden question, what that was thrown my way. I feel like I was taught Kaiza just the other day. Something about how you should do it before opening a door. I can't really remember the details. I'll answer honestly here. I apologize. What exactly is Kiza? Is it Kaiza or Kiza? Ki. I think it's Ki. I could just be dumb. Kiza. My, you don't know of it? Kiza is a type of sitting method, and it's to be used as a resting posture in martial arts. I believe you were doing it naturally when you sat on the tatami, but... Ah, so that's what Kiza is. I apologize for my lack of education.
It's an unfamiliar term for sure. It's not surprising that you don't know it.
That's true. Actually, I'm glad that you were honest about not knowing it. Yeah, it's just good that you're candid. Thank you. I'm not quite sure why, but it seems I made a good impression. Chie's thread shifted from wariness to affection as well. It turned out for the best, I guess. While confused, I looked to the side to see Tojo smiling happily.
Nice job. You firmly won the wives over.
After hearing his whispered words, I felt a little proud of myself. At the end of that conversation, it was about time for the tea party to come to a close.
Soup, let's continue to be friends.
I'll invite you for tea next time. An open-air tea ceremony will be fun too. Maybe we could go all out and have a full-course tea ceremony. Yes, on that occasion I'll be glad to visit you. I'm so glad everyone turned out to be nice. I have the Oniwaban, but these are the first people I've met since I came to Edo, so it'll be nice if I could continue being friendly with them. Speaking of, whereabouts do you live? The Takamura mansion? Ah, no, actually. I live in a place separate from him. I can't consider the Oniwaban's base to be my home, right? What would the address be?
It's just past the Nakahara-cho. It's just past Nakahara-cho. It's quite close to Chiyoda Castle.
Tominari swiftly answered in my stead. Thank you, Tominari. Then you live quite far into the city center. Guess you'd be safe then. What do you mean by safe? And then Tenba's wife looked around as if a little uncertain. To tell you the truth, I saw a man who looked like a Ronin sneaking into Samurai Town this morning. Ronin, a samurai who either left his master or of his own accord has lost his master.
Ah, low battery.
He kept looking around like he was searching for something, but he ran away as soon as he noticed me. My, something like that happened? That's terrifying. Everyone, please be careful as well. Make sure you do not walk outside when you're all alone.
Yes, thank you for telling us.
Could it be that, Chie, when you invited us into your house, it wasn't just because of the rain, was it? Huh? It would be dangerous to have a tea outside when there's a suspicious person walking around, right? So you were trying to protect us. Yes, well, that's correct. I see, so Chie's threads were always yellow because she was wary of the Ronin. That's why she was perfectly prepared for an indoor tea ceremony.
Oh my! In that case, you should have just said so from the start.
I'm sorry. I was worried it might surprise everyone if I said something like that out of the blue.
Chie, may I ask you a question? How do you know this man was a Ronin? Ronin.
It was because he was an acquaintance. I met him through my husband when the man was still working in Edo, but it seems like he pulled a moonlight flit soon after.
I see. By the way, where did you see him?
Near the entrance to Samurai Town. It felt like he was watching and hiding from within someone else's property.
I understand. It must have been nerve-wracking for you to having someone like that running around. I would be sure to let the city commissioner know.
Yes, thank you. A suspicious person sneaking into a town that, as a rule, forbids any outsiders from entering. This information, which could have foreshadowed some future incident, left me feeling rather restless. Well, I'm like an hour in recording, and like you see, like one of my Joy-Cons is dying, so I think it's best to stop it here. I hope you enjoyed. It's nice to be playing more, but bye.